good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Workbench here at Scale Models Midwest. As always, I'm David, and again, hope you're having a great weekend. Been down here at the Workbench last night for about 2 or 3 hours, and today I've been here for about 3 hours as well, finishing up a kit that I've been working on all week and getting ready to start work on 2 other kits. The first kit I'm going to show you is the Tamiya Unos Roadster that I bought at the model car show and contest here in Grimes this past August. This was the box art. In Japan, they call it the Unos Roadster. Right-hand drive. That's the only drawback to it. It comes with a clear top. If you wanted to paint the top to match, obviously you're going to want to, have a good primer and whatnot, and then paint it the color of your choice. Built up into a sharp little car, I'll say that. Now, I used the same silver paint that her car's painted. This is one of my friends' cars. She's had, I think she said, since new. And of course, she's had it for like, what, 34 years now. And still presents in great shape. But I wanted to kind of give it, the same kind of look. A nice weekend toy, fair weather toy. So the paint's not super shiny, although I do have 4 coats of the Mazda silver, along with 3 coats of a 2K clear, and I sanded it and then didn't polish it out. It's not super shiny, but it still looks really well. Kept the convertible top down and just basically built it stock. There's no engine, it's curbside, but I'm sure you could, if you wanted to, open the hood and either add to the engine bottom, that's part of the chassis relief, has opposable steering. Nice details, inside and out. I flocked the interior as well as the package shelf, and that way I could take the little convertible top part off so you could see that. Just some little relief for the dash panel, the dashboards, radio controls and whatnot underneath. Just did a nice little bit of paint detailing there. I had masked the bottom part, painted that. I was looking at some pictures for reference on the web, and so I kind of painted it like that. Overall, I think it's gonna be a nice looking kit on the shelf or on her desk, so it kind of sees it. She's got the real thing in her garage, and she's got this one on her desk. So I like doing that for my friends. If I see a car that one of them is cruising around in, I'll try to find a kit in my stash or try to get a kit and make that one of my builds. The second kit I'm working on is a Salvinos JR kit of the month. More recently, this is Bobby Isaac's 1971 Dodge Charger. See if I can get that in the viewpoint there. And I like this one. I like Chargers, period. I mean, I've got still up here my Bob Keselowski 99. I've got another black Charger Super B there. A friend of mine lived next door back in high school. His dad, Jack, owned a Super B with a white vinyl top, white interior, 383 automatic, and it was metallic brown. I always thought that was a sharp car. I kept telling myself someday I'd own one. Well, that someday has never come. But again, as always, we can have them in miniature. So I took out the kit, checked everything out, everything looks cool, and getting ready to put some primer first, but I wanted to build up some of the sub-assemblies. I'm going to use the bulge on the hood. The kit itself, I mean, if you look, very well proportioned and very well detailed too. I kind of rescribed the door lines a little bit. I sanded this with 1500 and then 3200 grit soft cloths. I took care of mold lines around the A-pillars as well as the B and C pillar towards the top. Also sanded down the very edges here for when you go to paint and you go to wet sand it, it'd be good. The hood I actually sanded down a bit, so I have a little bit more of a gap here and here for when the kit gets together and I've got paint on it, so the paint will kind of cover up for that. I remember the last time I built one of the Chargers, when I put this on here, every time I tried to separate the body, the rear valance panel would pop off. So I'm going to save that until the very end. Should be okay because you have little indents right there that you can go ahead and put them in. The front I did put in anyway, and I made sure that the grill fit. And I'm going to use the chrome grill that actually got, I think, some poppy red in my stash, and I'll be able to airbrush that and get that going. The kit right there, as you see the body, I've got that. I watched, and I can't remember who did this. It could be Clay Kemp, but I'm not sure. But I took the belt and sanded it down a little bit before I started putting things together, like the alternator. So each of the belt's thicknesses are about a third thinner, using files and a knife, just kind of make it look a little more realistic. I kind of like that. Someday I will actually use machine pulleys and, you know, go full detail route. This one I will have some detail in it. I'm going to use roll bar tubing. I've got one of the Concur wired distributors. I have a couple other things I plan on doing with this one, maybe some wiring within the interior. I used the chassis before I put them together. I used the chassis to mock up the roll cage, and it went together nicely. And I will go ahead and, of course, prime and paint that. I left that off because that way I can get the interior bits in here, and then, of course, wires if I needed, because I'd like to wire the ignition modules that are on the floor and kind of put a little more detail in there than there is. Of course, put the seat in and everything else. Ultimately, I think this is going to be a nice, sharp little kit. I will pick out some paint detail after I get this all primed. I did take care of about 15 or 20 individual ejector pin marks, and then I did the same thing I did with my other chargers, just for a little bit of contrast, detail, what have you. The sanding, I use this little Microlux from Micromark, little sanding pads. They have them in squares, triangles, and circles, so this kind of came in handy. I like that. So beyond that, I've got most of the parts off the tree, sanded, and some of them put together, like the headers. I put them together, managed them to get to fit in the header mounting flange, whatever, and then I sanded that down nice and smooth. Did that for both sides. I've drilled out the valve covers. I do intend on wiring it again, and then just ultimately after dinner come back down here, work on the priming and painting. It's really all I got for this weekend to show off, except I did pick up 2 other kits. Let me show you those real quick. We were up in Ames yesterday, Saturday, at the hobby shop. Saw a couple kits, wanted to pick up, and this first one, I've been wanting this one for a while since it came out. It's the A990 Superstock Dodge. I'll turn off the light bit here. There we go. This one, I mean, they've got a couple of other Mobius kits that have more stock versions of this, but I wanted the one that went fast. So I snagged this one, and pretty reasonably priced. It's the only one he had. And I might go back and get the other ones, but for now, I've got this one. This is definitely going to be something I'll build probably through the winter. But the other one, I saw it initially at the model car show and contest in Grimes in August. Didn't get it then, although I had it in the back of my head that I think the hobby shop up in Ames had one, and I wanted to see if it was about the same price. They were reasonably priced, but ultimately I saw it in Ames for just a little bit cheaper, so I went ahead and picked it up. It's one of Revell's 52 SAI Lane Automotive Camaro. Now, I'm half tempted to use the same decals that are on it, but like I did with a Monte Carlo number of months back, I'm thinking that I will build the Camaro like this, but I'm going to use one of the more modern Gen 6 Camaros decal sets. I don't know if I'm going to use like William Byron or Alex Bowman, one of the Kyle Larson ones, even Jimmy Johnson, or even Eric Jones. Who knows? I got a ton of decal sheets. As if you're a member of the Salvinos JR Builders Club, they give you some pretty cool swag each month. In addition to the kit of the month, you get like 2 or 3 decal sheets and a really cool sticker. So I'm going to go through mine. I've got right now about 100 sheets or so, and I'm going to see if there's something there that I could put on the Camaro. This will be a future build. It was reasonably priced, and you know, I'm glad I picked it up. Can't say enough about your local hobby stores. I mean, you might find something there pretty inexpensively, and if you like hesitate on it, someone else might pick it up. But this one, I lucked out. He's had it for a number of months, and I could have sworn he had it, and sure enough he did. So I picked it up because I didn't want to lose the chance of getting it. So there you go. Definitely hit your local hobby shops and check out stuff like that. But beyond that, I've got some errands I need to run, and I have to check my stash and see if I've got my poppy red paint. If I don't, I'm gonna go have to pick some up and get that thinned out and start airbrushing tonight. Hopefully we'll have a midweek update. If not, we'll just catch you next Saturday with that. So in the meantime, just kind of keep building the cool kits, and yeah, we'll just catch you in the next video. Have a great weekend.